They trained you to feel so you could be controlled. The moment you stop reacting, you become dangerous. They call it being human. I call it a leash. Emotion is noise. Noise reveals position, and anything that can be located can be eliminated. You don't need more people. You need fewer illusions. Most faces around you are not allies. They are reflections, echoes. Noise pretending to be connection. Isolation is not punishment. It is calibration. When you step away, something uncomfortable happens. Silence, and then clarity. In crowds, lies survive. Alone, they suffocate. Distance exposes patterns. Who only calls when they need. Who disappears when you rise. Who smiles while counting your mistakes. Proximity breeds blindness. Familiarity dulls instinct. You forgive what should be noted. You excuse what should be remembered. The herd teaches comfort teaches complacency. Complacency teaches obedience. People stay surrounded because solitude forces truth. And truth is heavy. When you isolate, you stop performing. No audience, no applause, no masks. That's when you see who you are without witnesses, and who others were when they thought you needed them. The weak fear isolation because it removes validation. The strong use it to remove dependence. Crowds reward sameness. Isolation rewards precision. Alone, you hear your own thoughts without interference. Some can't survive that. They rush back to noise, back to distraction, back to borrowed identities. Isolation is where discipline forms, not motivation, not inspiration. Discipline. No one is watching. So excuses lose power. In solitude, you either build or break. Most break. They confuse loneliness with loss. They mistake silence for emptiness. But silence is not empty. It's observant. From distance, you see how predictable people are, their triggers, their loyalties, their price. You notice how often emotion replaces logic, how approval replaces self-respect, how belonging replaces thought. Isolation strips you of social anesthesia. No numbing, no comfort lies. That's why it hurts at first. Pain is adjustment. You stop absorbing other people's fears, their doubts, their limitations. You stop shrinking to fit rooms that were never meant for you. Isolation teaches patience. You stop reacting. You start waiting. And those who act without thinking expose themselves. The observer always has advantage. The detached always sees first. While others chase attention, you collect information. While they talk, you listen. While they reveal, you remember. Isolation is where power matures quietly. No announcements, no witnesses. By the time you return, you are no longer the same piece on the board. They'll say you changed. You didn't. You clarified, and they'll never understand what happened in the silence. Every word cost you something. Most people speak in debt. They talk to be seen, to be liked, to relieve pressure they can't carry. Silence is different. Silence is intentional weight. When you don't speak, people lean in. Their minds rush to fill the gap. Assumptions form. Anxiety grows. Silence turns attention into a spotlight, and whoever stands under it first loses. The impatient reveal themselves quickly. They over-explain, they justify, they confess without being asked. You learn more by withholding than by demanding. Truth hates a vacuum. It spills. Silence is not weakness. It is refusal. Refusal to clarify. Refusal to reassure. Refusal to participate in emotional bargaining. Most arguments are traps. Words are bait. Reaction is the hook. When you don't bite, the trap collapses. Silence denies others the feedback they need to adjust their attack. No reaction, no data. People test boundaries with words first. Provocation, sarcasm, disrespect disguised as humor. Silence forces them to escalate, and escalation reveals intent. The loud seek control through noise. The quiet maintain control through uncertainty. When you speak less, your words gain gravity. Rarity creates value. Overexposure destroys it. Those who talk constantly must maintain consistency. One contradiction ruins them. Those who speak rarely can choose precision. Silence also protects reputation. Nothing you don't say can be twisted. Nothing unspoken can be used against you. Most damage is self-inflicted, careless sentences, emotional confessions, unnecessary honesty. You don't owe clarity to anyone. Confusion keeps you safe. Let them guess your motives. Let them miscalculate. Let them miscalculate. While they debate what you meant, you're already moving. Silence buys time. Time sharpens advantage. In negotiations, the first to speak reveals need. Need is leverage handed away. When you pause, others rush to fill space. They lower their price. They raise their offer. They expose urgency. Silence is pressure without effort. No energy spent. No risk taken. It also filters loyalty. Those who require constant reassurance were never solid. Silence attracts projection. People reveal who they are by what they assume about you. Some see threat, some see mystery, some see weakness. All are wrong, and all are useful. You don't control perception by explaining, you control it by limiting access. The quiet are underestimated, and that's the advantage. While others argue to be right, you wait to be effective. Silence is not absence, it's dominance without fingerprints. And when you finally speak, it lands. Motivation is a spark. Sparks die, structure survives. Most people wait to feel ready. They wait for energy, for confidence, for the right mood. The mood never arrives, or it arrives late. Structure doesn't ask permission. It moves whether you feel like it or not. Feelings negotiate. Rules execute. That's why emotional people stay busy and go nowhere. They mistake movement for progress, effort for results. Structure removes choice, and with it, resistance. When the path is fixed, there is nothing to debate. You don't wake up inspired. You wake up obligated. Obligation outperforms desire. The mind looks for exits when things get hard. Structure blocks them. No decisions, no drama, just sequence. The discipline don't rely on willpower. Willpower burns out. Systems conserve energy. They turn action into habit, habit into identity. Identity is harder to break than motivation. Structure also exposes weakness. When there is no emotion to blame, failure has nowhere to hide. Missed actions become visible. Excuses collapse. That discomfort is useful. It corrects behavior. People romanticize passion. Passion is unstable. It flares. It fades. Structure is cold. And cold preserves. When life applies pressure, emotion reacts. Structure absorbs. You don't rise to the level of belief, you fall to the level of your system. That's why crises destroy the inspired and elevate the prepared. Structure creates momentum without enthusiasm, progress without applause. It works in silence, unnoticed, uncelebrated, which is why most people avoid it. They want credit before results, praise before proof. Structure demands proof first. Schedules don't care how you feel. Standards don't respond to excuses. This is where power grows. In repetition that feels boring. In days that look identical. Consistency compounds quietly. Structure also protects you from yourself, from impulsive decisions. From emotional sabotage. When anger spikes, the system holds. When confidence drops, the system carries. You stop being a victim of internal weather. Over time, something shifts. Action becomes automatic. Resistance weakens. What once felt heavy becomes normal. That's when others call you disciplined. They think it's a trait. It's architecture. They see results and assume talent. They never saw the framework. Structure doesn't motivate you, it replaces motivation. And in that replacement, freedom appears. Not freedom to do anything. Freedom from inner chaos. While others wait to feel strong, you move because it's scheduled, and scheduled things get done. Structure wins because it doesn't care. Dependence doesn't announce itself. It disguises itself as comfort. You don't notice the chain until someone pulls it. Most people are owned by something. A paycheck, an opinion, a relationship, a routine they didn't choose. Ownership begins where need becomes non-negotiable. The moment you must have something, power shifts away from you. Dependence creates urgency. Urgency creates mistakes. Those who need approval can be directed. Those who need money can be rushed. Those who need belonging can be silenced. Independence isn't rebellion. It's insulation. It reduces leverage others have over you. The fewer inputs required to function, the fewer attack vectors exist. That's why minimal needs create maximum control. When you rely on one source, you inherit its rules. Its mood becomes your risk. Independence diversifies survival, not abundance. Optionality, options slow time. Desperation accelerates it. The independent negotiate from patience. The dependent negotiate from fear. Fear always overpays. Real leverage comes from walking away calmly, not threatening, not dramatic, just leaving. That possibility alone reshapes conversations. When nothing essential can be taken from you, manipulation loses traction. This is why power avoids attachment. Attachment demands protection. Protection demands compromise. Independence allows refusal without explanation. You don't need to convince. You don't need to justify. You simply don't require. Most people mistake independence for isolation. It's not. It's self-sufficiency in motion. You can engage without entanglement. Participate without submission. Independence also clarifies loyalty. Those who stay without leverage are rare. Those who leave when control is gone were never aligned. This knowledge is stabilizing. When resources are internalized, external threats lose impact. You stop chasing. Chasing signals need or door. You start selecting. Selection signals power. Independence creates calm because outcomes no longer decide identity. Win or lose, you remain intact. That stability unsettles others. They sense you don't need the result, which means you can risk patience, and patience pressures the impatient. This is why the independent often appear cold. They aren't detached from life. They're detached from dependency. They feel less because feeling more would hand control outward. Independence is emotional minimalism, nothing excessive, nothing exploitable. Over time, this becomes visible. People approach carefully. They test lightly. They sense resistance beneath the surface, not aggression. Immunity. You become hard to corner, hard to rush, hard to threaten, because there is nothing vital they can remove. And in that absence of leverage, power settles quietly, not loud. Not announced, just undeniable. One day you'll notice it, the calm, not peace, control. Nothing touches you anymore. Praise passes through. Insults miss, and that's when they realize they can't move you. By then it's already over. At the end, if you felt nothing, you were paying attention. When nothing moves you, everything bends.